Hello, you're listening to the TerraLex podcast, where we break down current issues and trends in the legal industry. Join us as we gain valuable insights from our member law firms across the world, as well as from the in-house counsel community and experienced professionals in their field. Welcome to TerraLex Insights podcast, where our goal is to present multicultural perspectives by leading professionals. These perspectives on contemporary issues will help lawyers and business people work better together. I'm your host, Terry Pepper-Gavulik, TerraLex's Chief Business Officer. And today we're very happy to welcome our guest, Paola Serna, Legal and Compliance Manager for Latin America for Omron. Welcome, Paola, to the podcast.
Hi, Terry. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure and an honor to be sharing with you this podcast.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. So I think as a starting point, maybe it would be helpful for our listeners to have a little bit about your background and hear a little bit also about your company. Would you mind sharing how you came to your current role and what your company does?
Sure. I studied law. I have a bachelor in law. I studied in Mexico, and I have some degrees on foreign trade, corporate governance, finance, and it's funny because the professional life has taken me in this path, depending to the needs. I'm a strong believer on degrees, and that depends on what is the need of the company and the current moment that we are living. So that's why I decided to study this, and they have helped me through this professional career to get to this point. I have been part of Omron for 4 years and a half now, and I started as a legal manager. It was funny. At that time, Omron didn't have in-house counsel, so the play was build your legal department. So starting from there, I started to get more responsibilities in the region, in the Latin American countries. And I have to say that we are led by an extraordinary general counsel in the region, who has given me the chance to interact in the region, and not only in the Americas, but also in the EMEA region. So also I'm responsible for some compliance issues over there.
Oh.
And I'm very excited. I'm very happy of having the chance.
That's great. Maybe share a little bit about what Omron does for anybody who might not be familiar with the company.
Absolutely. Omron is a Japanese company founded in 1933, which has several business units. The main one are related to healthcare. Some of you may have seen the BPMs or thermometers. And also we have an automation line of products, robots, scanners, and like many products related to components that are basically for the production line in industries, in different type of industries, like food and beverage, automotive, and some others.
I imagine some of those healthcare devices and things that you mentioned right now is a pretty busy time for your company.
Definitely. We are glad that we are affording to the society somehow in certain way what we have received from the society. That's one of our main values, to ground the society and retribute in some way what we receive from them. So nowadays, yes, BPMs, nebulizers, and thermometers are having a high demand.
I would imagine. And you're based in Mexico, correct?
Yes, I'm based in Mexico City. Here are our headquarters for Mexico. We also have some offices in León, Guadalajara, and Monterrey.
Very good. Well, when you and I were talking to prepare for this recording, we were talking about some of the challenges that you face trying to work on a multicultural perspective. I mean, you as you mentioned, you work all throughout Latin America and also other parts of the world, and it is a Japanese company. And so I know that you face lots of cultural differences. And one of the things that we like to do with our audience and on our podcast is to bring perspectives on what some of those challenges are, maybe how you've overcome them, and give people some good ideas about how they might address similar challenges. So do you want to give a start, and I'll let you pick which example you might want to start with.
So this is a very good question. Nowadays, we interact more and more with many other countries and cultures. So when I started with Omron, I mean in my past professional career, I have had the experience to work with American companies, Spanish companies, Dutch companies, but not really with Asian companies. So it was a very interesting way to how to approach to this culture. They are one of the ancient culture in the world, and well, there are many differences, not only cultural but also in gender terms. So I had to read a lot about their culture and understand. There was a very good book that the general counsel recommended to me in Japan, to pick up ideas on how to behave. And one thing is how to behave, maybe if you're a tourist, rather than if you're working with the professionals. And there were things that I have to learn. It was a hard way to learn, but at the end, I learned them. For example, there's a whole protocol when you're going to get on a meeting room and a table. So there are the hierarchies, and of course the head of the department or the VP. So everyone has to know which is the role of each one, to understand which is the order in which each one is going to have a seat. No matter which position I have to be the last one because I'm a woman. So this combination between cultural ideas and also gender ideas at the very beginning was shocking to me, especially when women are more and more fighting for equal rights and overpass gender issues. So well, I had to learn. So I recall one time that we were in a nice dinner after a long day meeting. And of course, in Mexico, it is very common that the waiter comes first to the lady to order. So I have to talk with the waiter in advance, just to say, like, please just follow this order and ask each person in the table, I'm going to be the last one. And the same, when you bring the main course, please do the same. I'm going to be the last one. And also it was shocking for another Mexican understanding this. But these are the kind of things that, I'm self-confident enough like to just get stuck with a cultural issue or a gender issue. So it was better for me to say, like, I prefer to this move on in a smoothly way and in a nice way. I don't feel bad because I understand this is cultural. Or even in Mexico, I mean, we are identify as a very like not very proactive on females, but more on males. So we need to deal with this, and this is fine. It's a matter also of being self-confident and understand what is going on around you and how you can just get through that and deal with cultural topics and issues.
I guess the key point there is that you can't just default to what you would normally do. You have to think about what you're setting and who you're dealing with, and then think about how you might interact and respect their culture as well. So that's a lot of work.
Yes, you have to deal with, okay, so I need to present this, but I do not need, I cannot forget to just speak slowly. That is something that with Japanese cultures and in general, I have to say, when you are not a native speaker of the language and you are trying to connect with many other nationalities in English, sometimes, I mean, the accent can play an important role. So it's very important to speak slowly. That's another tip.
It's a challenge for me. I do speak too fast typically. It's interesting. Something you said, and we didn't prepare for this, so I'm going to maybe hopefully not throw you too much of a curveball, but with everyone working from home and then little by little going back into offices, I've been reading articles that that's going to potentially be dangerous for gender equality and diversity in the workplace, because everyone can't go back equally if schools aren't open or there's childcare not open, and also if women are not in the office when other people are forming work teams and all. It's kind of the out of sight, out of mind phenomenon. Is that something that you think is a concern that people should be aware of nowadays as we're all working from different places?
Yes, definitely. But not only in pandemic times, I'm sorry, but also on a daily basis. And this is what feminists are looking forward, pursuing to have this equality, so that companies allow men to also stay at home to support on having children therein when they are not allowed to go to the schools and having more opportunities. I think that we are on the path that is starting to change, but and I guess that it's something that concerns in with this COVID-19 issues that we are living right now. But I guess also there was a good chance for families to understand the dynamics, and also to make the husband to understand the role of the woman, like working as a professional and dealing with the baby crying, or trying to support the other children doing homework and connecting. So it's a matter of dividing task. So unfortunately, not all homes are able to do this or have this mentality, but it's also uh, our responsibility as women to make men to understand that we are in the same circumstances. We are working the same, and even more, because I also have to stop after this recording, and I need to go and prepare lunch. But you know what? The deal with my husband is, but you are going to do the dishes. And so it's a matter of also delegated. In some countries, women are very are like educated to like do this, do that, because this is what women have to do. Women have to cook. Women have to do this or wash dishes and do that. So we also need to, just like in work, you need to delegate and learn to delegate your activities. Sometimes we want to do like everything, and you just grab everything. So it's the same. You need to trust in your team, and at home are your children, or is your husband or your peer, and you need to delegate. So yes, back to the point, it's something that concerns, but not only now, but all days. And we need to take advantage of this opportunity to learn more how to delegate tasks at home.
Great point. Absolutely. So now in your role, and I know a big part of your focus is on Latin America, do you see cultural differences as big of an issue in different countries in Latin America, or is it more homogeneous?
It's more or less homogeneous. However, there are some countries that, although we are part of the same region. I mean, that was my idea when I got to Brazil, and I was like, "Come on, we are, no matter that it's Portuguese and Spanish, we are part of Latin America. So warm blood, party. So we're gonna connect for sure." And well, that was fine when you think in terms of being a tourist or having a nice time with some other colleagues. But when it's a matter of interacting professionally, there is where the differences come. And I mean, it's not that every person in Brazil is this way, but I mean, they work very hard, and they have their own structure. So being part of that structure sometimes is a hard work. So the first thing that I have to do is earn the confidence, but not only just because like, hello, I'm Paola, I'm just coming from Mexico, you know, I'm part of the same company. This is it. No, as okay, so how can I help you? What I can do for you? And starting showing with baby steps that I was a reliable person and that I can help them when they have a specific situation. Sometimes, and also the time zone was an issue in some cases. Like, okay, I need you to be at a meeting that will be 9 a.m. in Brazil, which was at that time 6 a.m. to me. So no worries. So you need to be also willing to give a little bit extra to also get the confidence on teams, and being seen as part of their Brazilian team as well.
So is it safe to assume that the steps and the tactics that you've taken to understand in your Japanese colleagues and your Brazilian colleagues might be good hints for outside counsel that want to work with you, and how they might gain your confidence?
Yes, the outside counsel also play a very important role in this interaction with cultures, because they are your partners, and of course they want to serve you and to help you on what you need. So I had the chance to also connect with very good law firms in Brazil, and they are playing this important role as connector, being they are like more neutral, and they help you to be and do it smoothly, in a smoothly way, this interaction with the company, because they know the company locally, and they know that they are providing a service, and they are willing to support you and be your doing this partnership. So that's a very good connector to help us to go through an interaction with other cultures, even in your same company.
That's great. And then just one other area that I think would be interesting to explore in terms of differences, and this isn't so much country to country or culture to culture, but even the struggles sometimes discipline to discipline, the law department and the finance department, or the technology department, IT department. I know we talked a little about that previously. Would you share a little bit about how you work together and try to understand and overcome some of those differences?
Yes, diversity is also something that you see day to day in the same company, within your company, and with the different departments. So the first thing that has helped me is, I mean, I cannot be an accountant, or I cannot be an IT person. My background is law and finance somehow, but I cannot understand all the HR matters. So communication is the basis. Is a knock the door, explain me. Unfortunately, we have had some challenges on cyber events recently, and with the pandemic, these have increased all over the world. So when someone says and starts talking to you like, okay, but in the logs and the firewall, and then in the site, but it's hard to understand. So you need to trust on your team and ask the expert, like, I'm not getting it. I'm sorry. I need to understand this. And also you realize that as an in-house counsel, uh, once someone define an in-house counsel, like you become um, expert on anything, but specialize in nothing. Because yeah, you need to know of labor, of technologies, of finance, of corporate, but at the end, you are not the expert like in the law firms where you have an expert in each matter. And that's why you need to go with your experts, with outside counsel to support you. But you realize that you need to know the minimum of each department. So what I have also asked the teams to do cross training, like, hey, explain me a little bit more. I mean, it's not that I'm gonna handle the IT issues, but at least I'm gonna be able to understand how to deal with this. And also, hey, I have a meeting with this. I need you because I need to understand the language. So you translate that to me, and I can understand. Okay, so the risk that we have is this and this. So this interaction and communication with the departments, and stop seeing each other like, no, that is legal, no, legal has to do with the contracts and getting a permit, blah blah blah, or no, that is IT, those are just jigs, finance just numbers. No, we have tried to change this mindset to bring it to another level, and we are the same team and we talk the same language, especially when we have like in-house shared services. So we cannot be fighting in front of the customer, so we need to be aligned before going and giving an answer. So communication is basic, and also as an in-house counsel, to continue looking for these trainings, material, webinars, now that we have a bunch available, to become updated and to continue to be part of the team and seen as a key piece of the team.
That's great. Well, it's very easy to see why you're so successful. You have a really refreshing perspective, and I'm sure our audience is going to really appreciate hearing this. Any closing words that you might want to share with people about, really what it takes to have a multicultural perspective?
Yes, well, thank you again for the invitation. And just the first thing, my best advice is be self-confidence and rely on what you are and what you can get. Do not forget, that's the second one, do not forget where you come from. I'm so proud of being Mexican, but also so proud of being able to interact with different cultures and having this connection. So just keep in that path, in that path, and keep communicated. Talk, ask. Ask is, I would say, the third point, and that you need to ask what what it is expected, what it is needed, and if you have the chance, try to learn some words. That's also something that the other cultures appreciate. I had to learn um, how to say in Japanese, I'm sorry, I do not speak Japanese, but do you speak English? So that's a basic. And they were like, oh, wow. Or in Portuguese, and hello, how are you? How are you doing today? So are these small things that can make the connection as well and just break the ice with other cultures.
Excellent advice. Well, thank you so much. And our guest today has been Paola Serna of Omron, and we really appreciate you joining us on TerraLex Insights podcast. Have a great day. Thank you.